one of the problems that the MCP has solved for us is the initial discovery layer that business users can embark on without needing to heavily rely on an analytics professional to dig up all of the lower level detail. So that discovery layer turns the scoping process that we would traditionally go through to build some sort of BI artifact, it condenses it quite well. So the handoff turns into, I found this, can you productionize this for me? Instead of hours and hours of conversations and back and forth of Excel files, that process has been completely condensed. And then the second thing that I feel like arguably is one of the biggest benefits of the IntentWise MCP is the flattening of the time between discovery to action. Hands down. You go from I learned something to I did something about it very, very, very fast because you're already inside of an LLM tool. So maybe you need to ask a few more clarifying questions and you want to route a decision to your manager to think about it. Great. You can have that back and forth inside the tool. Maybe you want to go and execute some thing in another platform, turn something off, turn something on, whatever. You can do that. You might have to bridge other MCPs together potentially, but that's the name of the game. One interesting layer that I can see a lot of brands doing is just, I refer to it as working your search terms report. You just go through that and that thing tells you everything you need to know about your advertising operation. How you set up your campaigns. Did you effectively create negative keywords in certain areas? Are you attacking the right things? It basically is the ultimate, like, what is happening in my account? Because you have conversations with the people who are hands on the keyboard setting everything up. But how does it actually manifest in the data? And that's where I think the search terms information really gives you a wonderful view into the day-to-day operation. What's very, very common in the Amazon advertising space is for adjacent category search terms to show up inside of a campaign that might be focused on a particular type of product. So let's just make one up. Let's say you have a campaign about pencils happening. Well, Amazon knows that under the hood, that buyer is probably also buying erasers and loose leaf paper and all these other things. So those search terms potentially could find their way in through an auto campaign. And you need to decide, is that something that you're okay with? Is that an adjacent category sale that you're willing to wait for? Or would you rather free up your budget and be laser focused on pencil related search terms so that you can maximize your budget for just those things? That's the type of discovery and discussions that it drives internally. Hey, we're seeing search terms that are being harvested from these auto campaigns. Do we want to go set up secondary campaigns that are targeted at loose leaf paper and erasers, right? That's the game. We can have a very entry-level analyst run a scheduled co-work process with the IntentWise MCP, get back data, and then let it have a conversation about it back and forth before they leave that session and go talk to their manager or an agency. And the quality of the conversation is immensely better than had they just, I don't even know if the conversation could have started, because it's like, how would they have even known to build a report? It probably would not have even happened. One of the things that you can do, because we're now inside of an LLM, that wasn't really available through traditional regular expressions in Python or SQL tactics before, is having a better idea of relevancy. So LLMs can do a fantastic job of comparing searches that are coming through from customers against the campaigns in which they reside in, and you can start to score things a little bit better, which doesn't necessarily lead to any one action. I'm not saying you go negate the house off of stuff like that, but it allows you to ask budgetary questions to the person who owns that level. Hey, we have like 20% of our spend in a current budget going to adjacent category searches, which is fine. They still are hitting the ROAS goals that we have. But do we want to free up budget for the actual core category driving search terms and break off separate campaigns for these other things? Like, that is the type of discussion that's happening now, and you don't need to wait for like a third-party agency to really give you that feedback. That's all very, very easy to get now. You're doing the analysis, and we talk about flattening insight to action. I can think of examples where I see searches coming through for certain products that I may not have thought I should be advertising in the past. And then I'm like, okay, I can see some searches there appears to be a bigger market for this product than I once presumed. But before I go any further, ask the LLM to chalk up an email to your internal product manager to get a feel for, like, is this the product that we're getting behind in this category? Do you have future plans to transition to a V2 of this thing, a V3 of this thing? And you start to have a good discussion with the product manager. I think this is where work is going in general, right? So take the advertising piece and like totally throw it out the window for a second and think about how national account managers work with retailers and how they're looking at point of sale data from all these different places and how they might want to start to have curated artifacts and feedback emails created for them so that they can work with a replenishment analyst better, right? It's like, I think we're going to be talking more about like fully blown workflows instead of just having data over here, smart people over here. It's just all going to be connected in one seamless spot.